Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Got my coffee. Let's see here. I'm hubby this morning. What are you guys drinking? Well, good morning, everyone. I know we usually take a little bit of time here to say hello and just wait for some folks to jump on the live stream with us. It's a beautiful day. It's a little chillier here this week. Hope everyone's getting some time to get outside and get some yard work done and some of those projects around the house that have been sitting out there waiting for you to work on. And work always got in the way, so now there's no excuse. We are really looking forward to our interview today, and I want to tell you more about that for sure. But first, I want to start off with just a couple of announcements in the group. DFW industry friends, welcome everyone. My name is Colby Logan. I'm the moderator for the group. Glad to be with you here. 3,700 members as of this week, over 3,700. And as of this past week, again, over 3,100 of you are active in the group. So that means that almost 90% of y'all are in the group. You're commenting, you're posting, you're spending time with your peers, which is that's pretty amazing. Not all groups are this interactive and have this much engagement. So that's so cool. I want to give a thanks to all of y'all that are keeping up with the news cycle and keeping us updated on what's going on with everything in terms of policy and the loans and how to apply for unemployment and your experience with that. I know there's a lot of struggles with getting through the phone lines and just all the stuff that y'all are going through, and you're sharing that experience with us. It's super helpful. So I did notice one of our newest members as of February 11th this year, Mr. Rob Green, he had one of the top posts. It's already has 132 comments. Rob has been very active since he joined the group. So shout out to Rob. Thank you for jumping in head first. He's been pinging me offline and making sure he's following the rules correctly. He seems like a good guy. I can't wait to actually have a cup of coffee with him in person. For now, it'll have to be on the screen. So again, I'm excited to bring in my guest for today, and I'm gonna go over to my host computer here and get prepped for that. And I want to introduce some of y'all. Most of y'all probably know who my guest is, Naomi Butler, the owner of Bridal Shows Inc. Bridal Shows Inc. is obviously the producer and the owner of the Dallas Bridal Show, the Plano Bridal Show, the Allen Bridal Show, Fort Worth. So all of these large wedding expos that are around the area that you're probably familiar with. But now I'm going to introduce you to the owner here. I'm going to bring her on, start your video. Come on in, Naomi. There she is.
Hello.
Good morning to
Good
you.
Morning. A beautiful morning.
It's gorgeous out there. I'm looking into your living room, I think. Is that your living room?
It is part of everything. Yes, everything's kind of compact right now.
Yeah. You got a good setup. That's always what they say. You got to have like a good scene. You got
thank you.
A little flower, the window.
Yeah. I actually painted this bottle. Look at that. Okay.
That's cool.
A little flower in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do see a painting over your shoulder. Is that one of yours, or is that one of your favorite artists?
That one is a collaboration of my oldest grandson, Zach, and me when I was here last year and he was here helping me. And we just got out a big canvas and a bunch of paints, and he'd never done anything like this. So I said, we're just going to paint layer after layer, just have fun. Because people think, oh, I can't paint, I can't draw, but you just go for it and have fun. And he and I just kept painting, and it turned into what it is right now. And even when he comes back next time, we can paint another layer so it can keep
Yeah.
going because I haven't even varnished it. So it's just an intuitive, fun-filled painting. So
That's
anyway,
awesome. That's like the
I
sweetest
love
thing
it.
I've ever heard.
I'm sorry?
I said, that's like the sweetest thing I've ever heard with your grandson.
Aw. My grandson, he
Ugh,
is
that's
going to
awesome.
be 20 in July. Can you believe it?
Oh man. Wait, 20.
I
You're not
know.
old enough to
I
have a
have,
20-year-old grandson.
they're 19, 15, 11, and I have two granddaughters that are 5 and 2. So it's a wide
Okay.
range. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we were chatting a little earlier. I was like, Naomi Butler. I mean, who doesn't know your name or hasn't interfaced with you? But that's how life is. We're so known and important in an industry, and then things happen in life, and we get older and new folks keep coming in. And so I want to make sure that folks that don't necessarily know who you are, we'll start at the most basic level and grow with that. But you are definitely, for myself, one of the most known names and faces in the industry. I mean, when I got into the industry in the early 2000s, I mean, you were already there, doing your thing with the bridal shows. And like most folks, I decided to exhibit at the Dallas Bridal Show. And of course, you have to interface with you and your company. So tell us about yourself and the business you run, and we're interested.
Well, if you start at the beginning, I was a PK, and that means preacher's kid.
Same
and
here.
So, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about you. That's awesome. Not many people know what PK means.
Mm-hmm.
And both of my parents were givers. They loved helping people, loved giving. And that's where it came from for me, because that's my why, and everything I do is all about helping people. So when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher. Little did I know that I was going to be teaching hundreds of companies throughout the year in my exhibiting workshops. And then I became a secretary, and I love paper. I'm a paperholic. I have paper notes everywhere. And then I went into the title business. I was an escrow secretary, became an escrow officer, doing some closings for real estate. And then in 1988 is when we started doing shows. We did sometimes 20 plus shows a year. They were all types of themes. Some were in malls, some were in convention centers. It was crazy.
Were they bridal related at the time? Were they wedding related?
We did bridal, home show, all of these mall shows. We did all kinds of themes.
Producing them as a whole.
Yes, having them in malls. And even some of the malls would rearrange some of the vendors' exhibits.
And you were doing that with your husband at the time? Were y'all a team?
That was my previous partner. Yes.
Right.
And that was just all kinds of shows. We did trade shows, consumer shows, everything. In 1990 is when we started the Home Improvement Show, the same year as the Dallas Bridal Show and the Plano Bridal Show. So the Home Improvement Show was at the Dallas Convention Center. It was 250,000 square feet. So it was 2.5 times the size of our Dallas Bridal Show. So that was huge. Forgive me, I have to drink my water. I don't drink coffee, so I drink water all the time.
It's all right. Hydrate.
Yep. I drink about 90 ounces a day. So the home show, we sold it in 1998. And after that, we mainly stayed with the bridal shows. I bought my previous partner out years ago, so it's just been me for a long time. We even had our own decorating company. My son had taken over most of those shows years ago because he already had his own general service contractor company too. After those shows started, we also started the Fort Worth Bridal Show. I forget what year. It's probably in its 24th year now. Dallas and Plano are in their 31st year this year. And then we had the Las Colinas Bridal Show, the Allen Bridal Show. So we have 7 bridal shows a year. I started doing my Exhibiting 101 workshop, actually back up, seminar once a year. And only about 40 to 70 people could attend that one date a year. So then I changed it to be in my office, smaller groups, And I was able to help hundreds of companies throughout the year in that in-person workshop. And it has been so much fun. I get to know everybody a little bit better. And there are people that maybe attend 3, 4, 5 of them. I have people that come back every 10 years because every year I add new stuff. And I think one of the best compliments I had in my workshop, I had a gentleman sitting next to me, and this was one of those that we had 18 people in my office. Can you believe 18? You've been in my office, you know, it's tight when you have 18. And he said, Naomi, I thought I was going to be coming for a 4-hour pitch about your shows. He said, I had no idea you were going to help me build my business. And that's why I do what I do. I really care about this industry, and that's me. I just want to help people. So that meant a lot to me for him to say that.
Yeah.
But that's helped a lot of companies. So I mainly specialize in consumer shows, and we've done, like I say, trade shows, conferences, things like that. I became an artist 8 years ago. That I cannot explain. It just happened. It is something that God gave me that I had no idea. I used to say I can't paint, I can't draw. So if I can do it, anybody can. I turned it into another business in 2013. So that is my second business, which I love. It's my therapy. But I'm all about helping people. And I think everything stems back to my parents. So that's a little bit about me that maybe some people don't know.
Well, there's so much meat in there, Naomi. Obviously, testimonials are always powerful. So I'll share a testimonial from my experience with you and your shows.
Cool.
So, and I'm sure a lot of folks will relate, you know, getting into the wedding industry, especially in a market like Dallas, Fort Worth, it's so massive. And you see, you're like, how do I break into this? This is crazy. And so the bridal show is such an obvious tool, and you have a lot of, you know, not a lot, but you have options to choose from on bridal shows. Yours obviously being the ones, you know, of a size that makes sense to set your sights on. There's a waiting list. Oh no, will I be able to get into this? I remember, you know, being accepted in there and having our first show in front of us. And I feel like maybe I attended one of those workshops that you're describing at the very beginning. I feel like I came to one of those at some point. But I was a real student of marketing and such, having been previously an artist myself as a singer-songwriter. And so I knew how important it was. So jumping into the show, following the tools and the suggestions that you gave us, that first show I did, I mean, we killed it. It really was amazing. I mean, we just engaged people and focused on the list of people that we talked to at the show. And we booked out our year. It launched my business.
I love it.
From that one show. And of course we did, you know, many follow-up shows from that, which was important to keep the momentum going. But that was so important. The real testimonial that I want to share, that's only part of it, is I actually made one of my biggest gaffes as a business related to your show early on that turned into, you know, just such a great learning experience. Me and my business partner at the time, one of us got a call from somebody in Fort Worth that wanted to share our lead list.
Uh-oh.
I like your reaction there. And I think this was after our first show. I call out of the blue. It was like, yeah, I did a show in Fort Worth, and I got their list, and I noticed you got, you know, and remember, you know, being like, I don't think we're supposed to share these lists. You know, the rules say, you know, we sign a contract that say don't share the list and all that. Oh, how are they going to know? You know, and it went on, and it's like, yeah, I guess what could be the harm, you know, in sharing the list? Well, we shared the list with this other person back and forth, and we got caught. Naomi, y'all caught us red-handed, and it was so embarrassing, but we were so, you know, we were so honest about our mistake because we were so embarrassed. It was sort of like, yeah, we were so green and so new. And I'm trying to remember who we were working with at the time in your group. She just got the biggest kick out of the fact that we were just so green and didn't hardly know what we were doing. And we were very apologetic, and we were just like, please give us another chance. And y'all absolutely did. And, 9-10 more shows later after that, it was a very, very successful engagement for us to be involved with your bridal shows, and the way that y'all do business. Obviously in that scenario, second chances, being forgiving, listening, case by case, just, you're there to help people. And that was very evident what you're saying from the beginning. You're not there to slap hands and just, come down on people. It was very, very obvious that you're right. You guys are there to help incubate businesses, and you did.
Can I share one thing with you?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Here's why I went to that rule, if you will. I had a vendor who was, I think, in the travel industry. This is years ago. And they ended up giving their list to a photographer friend who gave it to another one. It went down to 6 different people, came back to another travel agent. So it hurt themselves by giving that list to someone. And so I was like, I've got to try to find some way to protect those vendors, those exhibitors in the show from not losing business.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of why I came up with that idea.
Yeah. Well, the rule makes complete sense. I mean, these lead lists are sacred. These attendees are trusting you with their information, and it's a sensitive deal. I mean, it makes total sense. I just love that y'all said we have a way of knowing, and y'all weren't kidding. Because I don't think we did anything with her list, but apparently she spammed our list, and you guys were like, yeah, that's so funny. Y'all did your work. You're like private investigators over there.
Well, we do seed it so that people know to try to protect you.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Well, you were talking about your family. You got a lot of grandkids, and has your family has been involved in your business, or how is family and business related at all? Or
well, number one, my family is 100% supportive of everything I do. And my daughter lives in Arizona. She and Nick and the 3 boys are in Arizona, a long ways away. And then Brian and my 2 granddaughters are here in Plano. And then Jack he and I have been together. We're not married. Don't tell anybody. Here I am owning the Dallas Bridal Show, and I'm not married, but that's okay. But Jack has been there through thick and thin with me. And again, my family is 100% supportive and there to help me. Brian probably works with me more than anyone, and he's got so many great ideas. In fact, if you saw my YouTube channel the other day when I talked about relaxing with all this stuff going on, he was the one that told me, he said, Mom, just relax. And so I have to give kudos to my family, because they're my love. I love them.
That's awesome.
And yes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the real why for us doing all of this stuff, is to create a life around us that we can include them in. And that really kind of leads into my next question. You talked about your YouTube channel, and my next question was, how has this whole new environment of Corona and this isolation stuff, how has it affected your business? And, what are you doing different? I noticed, you're starting a YouTube channel, and it's about time, Naomi,
you've loaded a whole lot of things in that question, but I am learning a whole lot of new technology. Those who know me well know I am not tech savvy at all. I do not have a tech savvy bone in my body at all. And the last 2 weeks mainly, I've learned a few things. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will be able to say I'm maybe 8% tech savvy. But the coronavirus has really made a lot of changes. For me, I think I was so worried at first because I really care about this industry, and I feel like I'm responsible to help hundreds of companies a year in my shows. They depend on my shows for their livelihood. So I was so worried about them and what was going to happen if we have to do this and the what ifs. And so it was a challenge for me to deal with, because the first three shows of this year, Colby, we had awesome attendances. It had turned a corner. We had such great shows many years ago when you were doing the show. And in 2008, things went, oof. And so we've had a challenge ever since then. We saw that turn this year. So our Las Colinas show and our Dallas Bridal show in January were awesome. Our Fort Worth Bridal show was awesome. And so we were on track for some great shows, and then boom, everything halted, everything shut down, just like it did for our whole industry. And we've had to temporary lay off. I'm the only one working right now, can't pay myself. I cannot even draw unemployment because I've got to keep the Humana group plan going. And so that has taken a toll with our industry, same with us. When I was I was trying to come up with some creative idea to help the industry. I was like, what can we do? I feel like we are a leader in this industry, and I need to find something. So I created the virtual Dallas Bridal Show to try to help boost some of the businesses and help our industry and help the brides, mainly to do our part. And I know it doesn't help everyone. Not everyone is going to jump on this or be a part of it, but it is in addition to the July show, which I'm positive and feeling good that it will still happen. And so Shane is my sponsor, Cinema Story Wedding Films, and he and I came up with an introductory offer, if you will, for this first year event. And if we do it later, because people are saying, well, are you going to do this ever again? I don't know. I don't have that answer. But if we do, of course, the prices will be more. But we've been able to keep the introductory event this year at a real affordable rate for everyone. Mm-hmm. And the videos that are created for this, they can own them themselves and use them in their social media and all their marketing. It's going to be very interesting. What will come out of that? Who knows? It's a whole new avenue. We'll see.
Well, that's it. You literally just stumbled right into, my next questions. The major permanent changes that you'll feel you'll make as a business, given this whole experience. That's interesting. I think I don't think it's going away. I think you literally have launched the new portion of, because July, I think people are going to be hungry to get out and interface. I know we know the vendors will be. Will the attendees be? We know weddings aren't stopping. There ain't no way that's happening. Clearly, they're going to be adjusting and rethinking, guest lists and locations. It's going to be an interesting, but brides will be brides at the end of the day. It intuitively, instinctively, it feels like the turnout will be a bit less in July, just based on it's a mass quantity of people. We're a little close to that. But that, to me, that just spells opportunity for you, Naomi, to enforce that a lot of your business and networking and showcasing can be moved over to a format like this. How will that work? You're gonna be figuring that out, right? I mean, this is, I tell you what, here's my phone right here. I've adopted the smartphone. I've been on Facebook forever, since they let non-university people be on. I never use Instagram. Every single one of our brides is on Instagram. They hardly even use Facebook. So it's like, it's just keeping up. We're just trying to keep up, right?
It's crazy. No telling where we'll be. And even in my workshops, one thing you were asking me about the YouTube channel, I'll mention the workshops too. I was trying to be creative also, and my online class that I wanted to create for my workshops, is something I've been wanting to do for years. So now with all of this, I am pushing myself to get that done to help more people. But back to the show, we have no idea what's going to happen. But in my workshop, I may be adding different modules now than I would have normally had in it. So it will be a whole other ballgame. And you were asking me some of the changes. I set up my YouTube channel, not knowing a single thing about this. I did this all on Saturday. I was awake at 3:30, couldn't sleep. That's me most days. And I lay there thinking, and then 5:30 I'm up, and I just pushed myself to set up an email. Never have done that before by myself. I set up the YouTube channel, published my first video, and I was so tired by the time I did it. So when you see it, just know I was tired, and figured out how to publish it. And I was texting some people saying, watch my new YouTube channel. And so I set that up in one day. I could not believe I did that, but that was just being creative, trying to come up with some new idea. But I think all of this has made me, number one, be more creative, think about being more prepared, which we all need to do. There's probably all kinds of things that we need to be more prepared, maybe even with our finances, to be more prepared for these emergencies that happen.
Yeah.
I thought I was kind of okay, and I had a cushion, and then that cushion kept going towards the payroll till I could put them on temporary layoff. And so I think we all have a lot to learn there. One thing, I wrote this down, I have an idea board, and I put things, I think we're going to all have to refocus. I put focus on the vision, okay? But at the same time, I think we're going to have to go back to the basics. I'm working harder than I have in a long time. Going back to the basics, how did I build my business in the first place? I worked long hours, and that's what I'm doing right now. And so things are going to come back. We need to be ready, plan your comeback. It's kind of like relaunching our business. So all of those things are some of the things I've thought about. One major thing is to be grateful, because when we are going through tough times, that's when we learn. But being grateful and being appreciative of this, I think it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because when we get through with this, we're going to think, wow, all those things I learned and the things I did that I never dreamed I could do, I wouldn't have done those without going through this. So there's those things to think about. My goal is also to create more and better relationships. In my workshops, I call it ROR, Return on Relationships. And relationships.
I like that. That's it right there.
They're everything. And so a lot of things for me is to create my online class, to do more stuff on my YouTube channel, to go back to the basics, to build more relationships, to be more prepared. And also, while I'm doing it, do this, relax, okay? I have a lot to learn. These are some of the things on my idea board to learn. Zoom, Skype, LinkedIn, Vimeo. I have another one, accept the challenge of something new, okay? I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Change is hard sometimes.
I think this one here is key. We just need to show up every day. So those are just some of the things, but I'm counting my blessings. And, God has helped me in many ways to go through some tough challenges in my life. And this is another one. And he's walking every step of the way with me. So Amen. I'm just grateful to be here. And thank you so much for having me today. And
oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's in the industry that I haven't got to know, please call me. I'd love to get to know you. I'm trying to call everyone that's in the July show, say, how are you doing? I want to make sure they're okay, and see what we can do to help them if there's anything at all. Because I know by the time we get to July, there may be some people that are not in business, and that just breaks my heart. So I'm here to help. I really care. Even my exhibiting classes are open to anyone. They're not just people who are in the shows. And I think I've been told I'm the only show producer that does that. Most people will have their exhibiting seminars for those that are in that show, but mine are open to everyone. There are photographers that couldn't get in the shows because that wait list you were talking about, that they can get into the workshop, learn what to do their shows. And I tell everyone, do every show you can, not just ours, do every single show you can. So
That's good advice. I know my business partner Michael and I we did that at first, and we we learned that, okay, aside from a few, this was just for us. I'm not. This is just coincidental. I'm talking to you, but we, the venue open houses and these little boutique things, those are very relevant. But when it comes to bridal shows, no doubt, the best use of our time and money was with you guys for sure. It was just,
well, thank you.
it was the biggest ROR, return on relationship. I like that. I'm stealing that.
Well, you can have it, and that's what you're doing. I appreciate what you are doing in the industry, because you're so creative. There's been some really cool things coming out of the creative things that people are doing. What you're doing here with Coffee with Colby, you've got the DFW Industry Friends. I want to commend you on all the things you're doing to help the industry. That's just amazing. And then even Don Mamoni has his People First and Profits. Richard McClure, I talked to him yesterday. He's doing a Zoom entertainment game. So there's going to be some cool things that come out of this. I know some of the venues are doing virtual tours that they've never done before. So like you were talking about earlier, they're going to do things that will help them in other ways with brides. So there's going to be a lot of good things that come out of this. And that's, I think, what we need to focus on instead of all the doom and gloom. Let's look at this as a blessing in disguise.
Right. Yeah. That's how I love to try to bookend these webinars, is ending on a positive note. I couldn't agree more. And I'm seeing the waves of, the first week. I think everyone was kind of jokey about how, oh, we get a little extra time off, and then some fear set in there for about the week after that, and it got a little more quiet. But I do see folks embracing this, like this attitude of this is just hitting everybody. I mean, we are just all being consumed by this tsunami of no work and a halt. And so what are you going to do with that time? What are you going to do for yourself? So I feel for all the families with kiddos that they're all staring at each other in the house and having to figure this thing out. That's a lot of our peers have little kiddos, 3, 4, 5 years old. Man, that is getting real. I went through that already. With that age. Now ours are older, and but well, this has been cool. Naomi, I could sit here and talk to you for hours. I mean, for real. But you're a very significant person in the industry. The Bridal Shows Inc. has been here for how long now?
I've had bridal shows started in '88. They were not necessarily the shows that we have right now, but so I've been doing shows for 32 years.
Wow.
Hey, this year I get to sing that song. What is it? The Beatles song, I think. Will you still need me? Will you still?
Oh, right. When I'm 64. Dun, dun.
And I can't sing. Okay. Oh, keep this in mind too. Go to Working Your Leads song on YouTube.
Okay.
Speaking of I can't sing, I did that. There's a story behind it, but the melody and the words came to me, and I had somebody help me put it together. And it's called Working Your Leads song. And
now,
so,
did you do this recently, or it
was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. It has my old last name, and it has
my
blonde hair, my previous hair, but I can't sing. So it's kind of corny, but it has a good message. So it's something that we're going to all have to really think about in prospecting and just staying with those relationships. So watch Working Your Leads on YouTube.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to checking out your YouTube channel, Naomi, and the content you're going to put out there. And please know, I'm here to reach out to me if you have any questions on this format and webinars and all that. I've made a bunch of mistakes in how to do this right and wrong. So I'm
You
happy to
shouldn't have
share.
offered, because I may be calling you every day. I've got your cell
Yeah,
phone number. So
please. I mean, just hop on. It really is. It's not too complicated, but I want to help people avoid some of the mistakes I made.
it's complicated to people like me, but to you, it may be old hat. But go to the Naomi Butler Show YouTube, Learning Opportunities, and that way you can see my new YouTube channel. I just set it up Saturday, and we'll see where this goes. I'm just having fun with it. That's the main thing.
Awesome. Well, we love you, Naomi. Thank you for doing what you
Love you,
do.
Colby.
And
Tell Rachel she messed up. She didn't come say hi to me.
I know. Normally she
Hi,
pops in
Rachel.
here behind me. She's probably still in pajamas for sure. Getting all the
Give
kids
her a
going.
hug for me.
I will. Thank you,
Thank
Naomi.
you.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Colby. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right, my friends. Well, that was Naomi Butler with Bridal Shows, Inc., one of the most significant individuals in our industry. And if you have never met her before in person, I hope you'll get to do that at some point soon. Engage what she's doing online. If she hosts a webinar or a meeting, I really encourage you to go on and be involved with that. She is very authentic, and she really does mean what she says about wanting to help people in the industry and just make this a better place for everybody. All right, my friends. Well, that was Coffee with Colby this morning. Cheers to everyone. Yeah, it's coming up on 10 o'clock here, 30 minutes. Perfect. Hope everyone has a great day. Enjoy some time outside, and we will see everybody real soon here.